Ladies and gentlemen, K Kim here. Welcome to the Daily Update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is down about 0.08% there. On the S&P Nasdaq, down about half a percentage. Semiconductor did get hit a little bit more today, down 1%. Dow is green today. Russell 2000 down 0.6%. Transport and banks also green. Energy pretty much flat. Biotech is down 0.7% along with the healthcare there. Home builders is green. Utilities is the only sector today with almost 1% positive in today's session there. Retail down, emerging market down. Bitcoin got hammered today, 8% almost negative there. Gold, silver, miners down a little bit. Dollar green, oil green, and these guys are pretty much flat. Obviously, Treasury bond half a percentage. VIX is down a little bit. Let's look at the S&P 500 ETF. Spider, 65-minute chart here. So this is where we closed yesterday, and this is where we opened up today. It looks like we saw a little slight gap up there, right? And you see the high wave spinning top candle, right? Pretty much a little bit of a fluctuations. Made a way on the first hour, came back down, got back up, and just kind of, you know, ended the day with that spinning top kind of indecision after the gap up. Gap got quickly filled. You know, act as a micro term support for a couple hours or so, and then it looks like these micro term traders placing their stop just underneath it, getting stopped out, right? That's that kind of the third hour move. And it is not a coincidence. It is not a mistake. It is not a random occurrence that market decided it's going to find some support in that vicinity, right? That's the 1, 2, 3, 4th hour, 5th hour, and 6th hour. You might be wondering what that line is. There's a pivot there. I adjusted a little bit, but that's the pivot. And you might be wondering, what is that line up there, the blue dotted? And so I'm going to show you guys what that is. I'm going to kind of zoom out here and you can kind of see the bigger picture. It's always important to see the big picture. This is why this is, every single video, I kind of zoom in and give you guys kind of the quick review on what happened for the day. But then if you zoom out here, you can kind of see the big picture. You can see this is that pivot we've been talking about since yesterday, right? Prior support, resistance, 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 resistance. And it looks like it's been acting as support last 4 hours, right? That's why we've been kind of hanging around in that vicinity. This is a resistance. That's a rising resistance, not a pivot yet, right? What is the difference with the resistance and pivot, you might ask? Well, pivot is, it was acted as either resistance or support, and then it flipped back to act as either support or resistance. Does that make sense? So you can see like it was like support here and then resistance and back to support, right? Resistance is it's only been acting as resistance in the past 1 month or so. I mean, this can, transform itself into a pivot, let's say, because you can see that's a resistance, resistance, resistance. But let's say this thing goes up, breaks above it, comes right back down, and that could act as support. Now that, blue dotted line could transform itself into a pivot and then act as support and the market keep going higher. So, that resistance can, turn itself into something that's going to support the buyers. Right now, it is not supporting the buyers, obviously. You can see that it's been acting as resistance. We're kind of in a sandwich in between. So, it's pretty simple from this level. Very, very simple. If tomorrow we start to see weakness or gap down or something like that, it's going to come back down to retest at 473, right? 473 obviously is the prior peak there, swing high. That was the all-time high level back in late November, right? So that's the 473. And market in bears really trying to bring it down a little lower, right? Because, market did see that exuberant move in the last, several sessions going up pretty much vertically. This parabolic move we've seen. So I'm not surprised to see this thing possible to see that pullback. And market needs to cultivate that higher lows and higher highs. We already see these higher highs, right? But where's the higher low? Do we see any higher lows? We do not see any higher lows. We cannot establish a uptrend without higher lows. So if the market decides to come down and maybe even fill this gap, that's totally cool for the bulls because we need that cultivation anyway for the higher low before going higher. My short-term moving average is currently residing at 468.65. And that's kind of guarding in this vicinity, that gap area. But I think that by the time this thing comes down, let's say, this thing will come up here and meet the, it's going to guard this gap area. And that's going to be acting as a double support. So I think 473, 470, this entire level is in a confluence zone here. Definitely, that's the band of support right there. And that vicinity is going to act as stronger support, right? So should there be any kind of decline, let's say it's going to be a little very micro-term higher low market decided to do, and it's going to maybe turn this into very, very short term, very much possible just because we have so much momentum right now. It's very much possible. If market decided it's going to make this into a bull flagging pattern, there's a good chance the market is going to continue to go higher and maybe use that and turn that into a pivot, right? Because that rising resistance is currently supporting the bears. But bulls have this certain power just because bulls been gathering momentum last several sessions here, as you can see. So bulls have power to turn this to support the bulls. Again, by turning that into a what? A pivot, right? Let's check out that oscillator and see if we can extract any more information. So that oscillator is finally curling down. We've been talking about that in the pancake pattern on the last night video. And it looks like we're coming right back down, right? Keep in mind, when the oscillator is go all the way to the top of its end, it's always a strength that it represents. You can see how these guys, never go all the way to the top of its end. What happened? It fizzles and then it comes right back down. When this thing goes all the way to the top, and not only that, it like stays there for several days. You see that? Making that pancake, right? Right? Mopping the ceiling there. That shows strength. Basically, bullseye right now is flexing its muscle. And that's what you want to see. And that's exactly, and I've been fair, right? If you've been watching my video, I said the same thing for the bears, man. This is what I said. Look at this. Bears need to bring it all the way down. So it's not like I'm always like, Kay, you're always like, hating on bears and you're always like, favoring the bull. No, I'm not favoring anything. I'm just analyzing what this market is telling me. And I said exactly the same thing though here. You can go back and check. I said, you know what? Hey, you're a bear here. Make sure, man, you bring this oscillator all the way to the top, bottom of its band and start flexing that muscle. If you see this thing continuing to make lower highs and lower, you guys remember this, right? But if you don't let the oscillator go all the way to the bottom of its band, you'll be surprised how quickly bulls are going to bring it up because we're on a midterm and long-term uptrend. You remember? You guys remember this, right? If you're smart, you remember. So I'm going to be fair with this. So that's kind of what I'm saying. Yes, you can see that. That's what bulls are doing last several sessions. So yes, we're pulling back, but there's so much support here that I think bulls are coming back down to cultivate that higher low. My December 2021 December invitation is going to be expiring in 5 days this Sunday evening. And we're probably not going to have another invitation for Traders Club. Probably not until next winter, right? And so if you've been thinking about it, feel free to check out at twotradersclub.com. And there's plenty of reports. And I've been talking about this, these reports right here. Trust me in this. I guarantee the information you're gonna get from here, these reports like hour long or more, and they're like 10 of these reports, they're still valid, and these are macro. We're talking macro, the long term, the secular trend of things, where the market is gonna be next, like, you know what I'm saying, like 5 to 10 years. Except this one. Well, this one I talk about potential coming correction in the last, maybe next year, something like that, maybe 10, 15, 20% correction, and afterwards, we're gonna get into some good bull market. So that correction that may come, it's gonna be a tremendous opportunity, which I thought it's about an hour long or so. Again, these reports, like 10 of them or so, none of them, you will not, I guarantee it, you will not find anywhere else on the internet. So that, so with that, the 2021 December invitation, 20% off when you check out on annual memberships only. If you want to do just quarterly, you're going to have to pay the regular price. But if you want to do annual, keep in mind that these annual prices are already 20% discounted rate because they're annual. And on top of that, you get extra additional 20%. Keep that in mind if you've been thinking about it. So there you have it, guys. I'm going to come back for you We're going to reassess this information, right? Enjoy your evening and good luck trading tomorrow.